Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about one more thing about Danny, a little more about Halloran, just in terms of character details, just to notice the way movies work. So Danny does something um, when he's in the maze and he's walking in his own footsteps, and he kind of hops back to where his footsteps were. He's making footsteps in the snow, and then he hits a point in the maze, and he decides to hop back into his previously made footsteps, and then jump off the path to throw Jack off because Jack's following the footsteps. Um, that's so smart. He's like a little kid, but that's like a pretty good idea. It makes me like him, and when you like him, I don't want him to die. And then when he doesn't die, I feel like I've had a satisfying motion picture experience. So I like Wendy and Danny, and I want them to live. And the movie provides me with that, which is nice. It's what makes it a satisfying thing, is that the characters do things that make them likable. It seems obvious that you should make your characters likable for the audience, but a lot of horror movies fill the things with dum-dums that you're happy to see die, because they don't want you to feel bad with all the violence. But the result is that I've got a movie with a bad guy slaughtering idiots, and that's just not that much fun to watch. Um, I didn't go see the Joker in theaters because I didn't want to watch I think God, did I say that already in the video? I'm confused because I had to delete a video and go back. I don't know if I said this already. Um, uh, okay, I'm not going to say that again. I think I already said about the Joker. But if I didn't, ask me about it and I'll tell you. But basically, I didn't want to sit in the theater. I said this already about Wendy. Okay. Um, so so Danny jumps in the snow, and I like it. Let's talk about Halloran for a second. Everybody has pet peeves in movies. Um, my best friend has a pet peeve about C4, which is an explosive. Um, in the movie The Purge, a character has a brick of C4. It's like dynamite, and he throws it down a hallway, and then he shoots it with his gun, and it explodes. That's not how C4 works. The dynamite's very unstable, so if you shake it too much or you fuck with it, it'll blow up on you and kill you. C4, the whole point of C4 is you can kick the shit out of it. You can set it on fire, and it won't explode. It only explodes when you send an electric current through it. So you can't shoot it with a gun and make it blow up. They just don't understand what C4 is. But so it's just like his, and he's like, oh, I can't believe this movie doesn't know that. One of my pet peeves is movies that, let's say a character's girlfriend gets killed by a ghost, and then the cops are like, what happened? And he goes, oh, it was a ghost. And I killed my girlfriend, it was a vampire or whatever. And of course, this is a world where nobody knows about ghosts and vampires. And so the cops are like, oh, he's crazy. We're going to send him to the loony bin. And when that happens in a movie, I'm like, dude, are you stupid? Did you not know they wouldn't believe you? Did you not guess they might throw you in an insane asylum for claiming a ghost killed your girlfriend? Like, let's try this again. Um, Halloran does something like this in the movie, which I really like, which is he knows Danny. He gets a psychic message from Danny that like ghosts, including a witchy woman in a bathtub. Oh, I forgot to mention earlier the woman in the bathtub. Like she is. I mean, she has she's a very strange body type. But obviously Jack is excited that she's this like babe. And again, the contrast between Wendy being sort of odd looking, and obviously Jack prefers the babe in the bathtub to Wendy. So just to put that in the context of casting odd looking Wendy. Boy, helicopters are going on. This is exciting out here. All right, if I see the helicopter, I'll point the camera so you can see the helicopter because I feel like they're exciting. Oh no, maybe you can see it. Let's see it. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Helicopter. No, you can't really get a good shot of it. Okay, so Halloran has gotten a psychic message from Danny that a sort of an old woman witch who appears to be a beautiful woman comes out of the bathtub and is making out with his dad, and he's got a psychic message. He's got to go up there and save the kid from the evil hotel monsters. And on the way there. He calls his buddy up at the gas station or whatever, or the place for renting the snowcats, and he says, why are you going up there? And Halloran says, those people we got to look after the Overlook turned out to be a bunch of assholes. It makes me so happy because it's such a good thing to say. That's a great reason to have to go. It's such a realistic reason to have to go up there. He's not like, oh, there's ghosts up there and monsters, and I gotta fight the demons or whatever. Like he says something that someone would believe, which is those people turned out to be a bunch of assholes. It makes me super happy. So, all right. So that's all right. Good detail about Halloran. All right. It makes him likable. Um, there is something kind of depressing about Halloran that I kind of want to say, um, particularly because Halloran is black. It's not a great use of a black character, and you'll see a lot of the movies we look at don't do great with black people. They're not like super movies piles a huge chunk of the movies that are made by sort of rich white dudes, and as a result, they don't do great on they're not great on race in film. And Halloran, it's both funny and depressing. But Halloran's story is fascinating because it takes him so long to get up there. It takes him forever to get up there. Oh, and by the way, I love the setting of Halloran's house with the sort of naked black women in these sexy but strong poses. Is such an interesting contrast to the. Um, it's such a strong contrast to the naked woman, the naked white woman who comes to see Jack, is immediately juxtaposed with Halloran's like strong naked black women on the walls of his apartment, and how different his apartment. Boy, this helicopter is really fucking me up here. Um, uh, Teaching outside, teaching during COVID. Holy shit. Okay. Um, so Halloran's sort of strong. Um, Halloran's sort of story um, is basically a joke. I don't know if you know what a Shaggy Dog story is, but it's a joke. I can't give you an example of it because it'll take forever. The whole point of a Shaggy Dog story is it's this long, long, rambling story that goes nowhere or has like a stupid punchline, and it's like, why did I have to spend 20 minutes listening to this dumb story if it was just a stupid joke? And Halloran's story in The Shining is a little bit like that because Kubrick goes to some trouble to show every detail of his journey. Right, and he's at home, he calls the sheriff's department, he goes, he gets on a plane, he has to call from the airport, he has to drive to get the snowcat, he has to take the snowcat to the hotel, and it just takes forever. It's so long. And then he's immediately murdered with an axe. So it's not great for the character. I like to see black characters in films treated a little bit better. But it is a little. It's Kubrick makes a big joke out of it. Now it's possible to watch it and be like, this is really boring. This is taking forever. But I like Halloran, and so I think it's kind of a like darkly comic moment. Um, where he makes a joke out of it. It took him forever to get there, and he gets immediately killed after all of that build up. What was it all for? Um, Cool. Okay, good. I think we're doing pretty good. Okay, cool. Let's find some other things to talk about. Okay. Oh, and related to, well, I don't know if I want to talk about that. The movie also draws attention to how poorly Halloran is treated, though. I feel like they're aware of this because of the Grady who uses the N-word, and then Jack says the N-word back to him, and then Grady says the N-word again. And it really emphasizes this sort of racial dynamic in the movie. And I'll have more to say about that when I get to Jack and some of the phrases he uses in the bar, because I want to get to kind of Jack's whole thing. But it positions it as a race thing, which I think is crucial in this movie and for thinking about Jack's character and the idea that the hotel Stewart, when he's giving them a tour of the hotel, she says, has royalty stayed here? And he says, all the best people. But it seems pretty clear that means white people. Given the way Grady talks, the movie seems to suggest this is a sort of rich destination for sort of fancy white people, and so that it's about power, and it's a really interesting. It shows the power dynamics that, particularly because Grady has this sort of upper class British, yes, you must correct them, so it has this kind of extra bit of oomph to it. Okay, cool. So I want to pick up with Jack before heading on to some important theme stuff. And I think I'm doing pretty good. Let me see if there's anything else I want to chuck in this video before it ends. Okay, I think we basically have it. All right. I will see you guys in the next video.